Coming up, the iconic Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Welcome.
Fact, you have 5 kids.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Here's 5 boys. Go.
I think it was a lot. I remember when I had one, it felt like a lot. I think I've skipped some bits of learning for the smaller ones, but I know for a while they were really bad at identifying quite basic farmyard animals. Like, Mummy, look at that seagull. I'm like, that's a goose. You know. I think for the beginning bit of having Sonny, it felt completely overwhelming. And no, I wasn't ready to even think about having another for quite a while, actually, because I just wasn't really in that frame of mind. It was such a massive life change.
Don't cry, Louise, because I feel like
I
could literally start crying.
It's right on the dance floor. I actually did it. I actually made it my mission this week, and I finally booked that holiday. I feel like we all just need that light at the end of the tunnel, something to look forward to.
Well, we're so in the thick of it, aren't we? With kids being back at school, the groups, clubs, WhatsApps and parties.
Just the grey skies.
Yeah.
Just the grey skies.
And the thought of...
And the lack of a pina colada in my hand.
Oh, Louise. How delicious.
Exactly. So a huge thank you to Jet2 Holidays for partnering with us on this episode. They've made the mission of getting that sun locked in so much easier. So how's your week been? Mental?
Mental. Yeah. I feel like it's always mental at the minute. And is that because I have 3 kids, or is that because I choose for my life to be mental? I don't know.
I feel like we survive on chaos.
Yeah.
We're in that hamster ring of fire, whatever it is. What is it called? The hamster spinning
wheel.
Thingy.
Yeah.
And if it stops, I literally just fall off.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like I need to do something. If I'm sitting still, I kind of get a bit like
need to do something. It was interesting. My mother-in-law said something the other day, in the nicest possible way, because I do love her. But she did say something, and it really resonated with me because so I got in from a show at like 1 o'clock in the morning. 1:45, Annabelle wakes up. So I'm awake, sorting her out. And then go back to sleep again. And then Bradley, my eldest, had a nightmare, and he came into our room at like 5:15.
Oh, crikey.
So I was chatting to my mother-in-law, and I said, oh God, I had like not very much sleep last night. And she just says, yeah, but you're a mum. You can function for a night with broken sleep. That's what we do.
We are superheroes.
And all of a sudden it's like, if I was chatting to my friends, or especially if I was chatting to my dad would be like, Hannah, you really need to rest because you're going to get ill. The problem is you don't sleep, you get run down, you get ill, and you've got all this mental load going on in your head. And it's interesting how like my mother-in-law's perspective is like, yeah, you're a mum, crack on with it. That's what we do.
What would she say if her son had said, I've only had 3 hours
Interesting
sleep?
you say that, Louise, because he's got a little man cold. And I actually watched him go up to his mum, and he was like, but when you can put on that you've got a blocked nose, like I could be like this now, my nose is really blocked. Yeah. So he was a bit like, and then he went up to his mum and says, I'm not feeling very well. And they gave each other a hug. And and you look and you're like, you are just walking away from your parenting duties.
Yeah.
Like, I see you.
Yes.
When you're so sleep deprived, when you've just had a baby and you have like, she's got a newborn. Nobody talks about the toddler sleep deprivation because at least with a baby, you could be like, give it some more milk or just get your boob out and feed it. Whereas with a toddler, they wake up, they have no concept of night and day, but that sleep deprivation is another
real.
Level, isn't it?
And actually, weirdly, this happened to me at the weekend, and my daughter's 6, and so this doesn't usually happen. And I guess this goes into my parenting fail, even though it wasn't my fault. It never is.
You do always say that. You do say it was not my fault.
Me. So my son, my middle child, wasn't feeling very well, so he came in my bed, and then my daughter got a bit jealous. But then for whatever reason, she woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, thinking it was the morning. She just woke up.
Oh, God.
And went downstairs. And you know what it's like as a mother, you're just alert. I'm never in like a proper deep sleep. Yeah. I'm always alert. I can always hear what's going on. And so I hear her go downstairs, and I think it's my husband. She goes downstairs, and then I hear herself pouring cereal, and then Alexa goes on. And I'm like, oh my God.
Ringing you while you're upstairs.
You know, and I'm getting more and more angry because I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She's hidden somewhere in the kitchen. And I'm going, Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. My daughter has somehow managed to change the wake name. So her name's not Alexa anymore.
What?
Yeah.
What's she called?
Ziggy. I have found, though, with the kids coming into bed, like my eldest now just doesn't do it. Like even trying to get a hug out of him is like trying to get blood out of a stone.
It really scares me at the thought of that happening. I really hope that my kids want to ring me for just to chat. Like I can make like small decisions, like what should I cook for dinner? I'll always ring my dad and say, oh, what should I do for this? I bet they're sat there with a gin and tonic, but thinking, I've been there, done that. It's all a phase. Now go away.
On.
Yeah, get on with it. Stop.
I did it in the 80s without any internet.
Yeah.
Or without any sat nav or iPads.
Yeah, parenting's so hard for you.
Yeah. I do wonder though, like what's harder, as in when our parents were looking after us when we were smaller in the 80s, like my mum's work finished at 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was done.
Yeah.
There was no one to bother you after that time. There was no WhatsApps. There was no social media. There was literally nothing. Can you imagine now finishing work at 6 and having no screen time, nothing? How nice.
Oh, how
lovely. I feel like a
lovely.
spa, but we're constantly bombarded with WhatsApps, emails. Like even if you finish work, you'll still get emails at 10 o'clock at night and you still look at them.
And it's like a concern on my phone today was Sophie's lost her.
Oh my God.
One of her shoes. Like I've got 20,000 tabs open in my head. Sophie's shoes are irrelevant to me.
Yeah,
like
irrelevant.
label them.
But do your WhatsApp chats, if someone says, oh, we've lost Sophie's shoe, do you get messages going, I don't have it, nor do I. Oh, we tried there. Look, lots of property.
Logan
hasn't got it. Ping, 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 ping. You're like, oh my God.
And it's like when you see Sophie's mum at the school gates, it's like I'm so compelled to be like,
Did you find it?
Did she get the shoe back? Please tell me, because it really took my whole Monday morning thinking about Sophie's shoe.
I know.
That was unlabelled.
Yep. Right, well, let's get on with our win of the week.
Oh, I love these.
Oh, here we go. We're still on our mission to find the sunny side of parenting this year with Jet2 holidays, and that means celebrating our wins of the week. Whether they are big or small, we want to shout them out. So this one comes in from Claire. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
My win is that I've now told my kids the iPad has updated and now it only works after they've tidied their toys, and that Alexa is watching to activate the iPad when they've finished. I just turn the Wi-Fi off until they're done. That's genius. I don't know how to turn my Wi-Fi off.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Who's this, Claire?
Claire,
Come on, Claire. Give us
how
more
do you turn
deets.
That's actually
What a great
genius.
idea.
Nothing beats that just booked feeling, especially when you know you've secured your dream Jet2 holiday early and can spread the cost all the way to summer. Get that just booked feeling now with just a £60 deposit per person. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Package holidays you can trust.
Today we are joined by a pop star mum of 5 boys, and she first invited us to murder on the dance floor back in 2001 when she got everyone through lockdown with her kitchen discos. But over 20 years later, thanks to the cult film Saltburn, she's having a pop resurgence, and we are here for it. Please welcome the iconic Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Welcome.
I felt like I had to look elsewhere. I didn't want to interrupt your flow.
I am. Wow, I know. I can't believe I actually got that right in one go, actually. Thank you so much for
Maybe
being
my
here.
name, that's the bit where people normally are a bit like, silly surname.
Really?
So thank you. Yeah.
That was a great surname.
I've had so many variations on that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
think
are
it's crazy
literally, you are so iconic.
Oh.
We've grown up with you.
Yes.
You know, like with your music and just your style and the fact you have 5 kids. We're always like, oh, we've got 3 kids each. And it's like, you've got five
Yeah,
boys.
she's like, yeah, have that. Hold my beer. Here's 5 boys. Go.
Anything's a lot. I remember when I had one, it felt like loads. I mean, it's, whoever you're raising, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is.
Can I just want to go straight in and just say what it was like, because I saw you got an email, I saw on your Instagram, you got an email in 2022 saying, can we use your music in Saltburn? Like, did you have any idea the impact that was going to have?
No, I mean, so much that I sort of forgot to tell anybody. I mean, I was happy with the email because it's always a treat when someone wants to use any of my music for anything. So I was already really flattered, and I could see that it was Emerald Fennell was the director of the film, and I thought, oh, that's lovely. She seems like a lovely director, and I'd enjoyed her last film, so I was flattered. But
And then when you watched it, were you aware that Barry Keoghan was going to be like lobbing his third arm round to your song, the iconic song?
It did have the synopsis, yes. So I did know that there was nudity, and I knew it had someone dancing naked, but that could have been in any which way.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this sort of malevolent
massive
triumph
schlong
of this. Yeah, but also how dark it is. It's like this bit after he's been so devious.
Yes.
So I didn't know it had
pounding,
this dark heart to it.
So when it all blew up again, how did you take that all in, and how were your boys, like seeing you again in the press everywhere?
From where I was standing, post kitchen discos, Richard and I had been out touring a lot with that. So we'd already had this gorgeous community come out of the kitchen discos, and our focus was on that. And that had really, in some ways, affected the kids quite a lot more at the time because we were doing these discos, and that had poured in a lot of new energy around what I was up to, but also felt very soul satisfying because all the people that were coming around during lockdown to our ridiculous, strange Instagram lives.
Brilliant.
Well, they
amazing.
were fun, but they were really, I don't know what they were, mad. So at the time, I think when things started bubbling up with Saltburn and Murder, it didn't really get the full impact until probably like halfway through the next year.
Yeah.
And it caused me to really look back over 20 years of all these people I still work with, all the things I've learned, the sort of highs, the lows, and just pour all of that into what the album Perimenopop became. So I wouldn't have made the album I did without that. But I also completely...
What a name for an album, Perimenopop. I mean, massive relate. I think you and I are similar ages.
I think we are.
Are you born in 1980?
I'm actually 79. I'm spring. Okay, so I'm a little older.
Yeah. And you're touring soon. You're going off
Australia
soon.
Yeah, so I go a couple of weeks off to Australia and New Zealand where it's warm, which would be nice.
And who's going to look after the kids while you're away? Like, how do you juggle? Like, this is my biggest question. Like, how do you look like this and you have 5 kids, not just 5 kids, but 5 boys? They are a different like territory altogether, aren't they? But what was it like this morning for you getting ready to come out the door with 5 boys?
There's a lot of questions there. I'm trying to think where I start.
There's so many.
Childcare. Yeah. Like, I mean, I have childcare like any working parent. That's how I work it. People will say to me, oh, if it's not you, is it your mum? Well, actually, my mum's she has her own things going on as well. So she lives nearby. But no, I have brilliant support, and I've really worked hard. For my kids, their dad and I, we've always done what we do. So my eldest is now approaching 22.
I can't believe that. Honestly,
I know, it's pretty cool. I think it's quite fun.
Honestly, looking at you, I'm like, you're so cool.
Yeah.
Like, you're so cool. You've got a 22-year-old.
But I do love it. I love having an actual adult son.
Does he help with childcare?
He can do, actually. He has done a couple of babysitting nights, but I think he is the most brilliant. I mean, he's great with the little ones, but actually the teenage too. That's where I think it's a really wonderful dynamic, because if, the 13-year-old, he will open up to Sonny in a way that he might not to anyone else. And that's, I'm sure you'd agree, like when I had my first baby, and then I could see Sonny having a relationship with my brother or with my mum or with his granddad. And that feeling of like stepping back and being like, well, I might be the person who introduced him to the world, but now they've got their own relationship and it's sort of nothing to do with me.
Totally.
And I've always really loved that feeling.
Yeah,
I find it very fulfilling.
Any parenting fails?
No, nothing.
Oh my God, literally. I was like, thank God you laughed after that. Because honestly, we've had some people come on, they're like,
get everything just right.
5 kids on and it's
nailed it.
Oh,
Nothing to say.
I mean, you could start the hour again with this for me. Yes, of course, bucket loads. I think probably my biggest... some of them are inherited. My mum and I both have this, I don't know why we do it, sort of cautionary tales that we'll then warn our kids about, and then they'll be very far flung. So it'd be like my brother and I were talking the other day, because he's like, whenever you get a cut, are you always expecting to see a line coming out of it and it's sepsis? And I was like, yeah, because my mum was always like, mine for sepsis, if you see a line. And I've realised that's actually quite unusual, and anyway, I've obviously inherited that. So that's definitely not something I meant to make them. I mean, at least they're kind of relaxed about it. They could be like, oh, worried about everything. And I think sometimes as well, especially with my eldest, trying to inform him of things that actually he probably wasn't quite. You know, when you think you're going to be like, it's fine, we're going to talk about everything, it's going to be super cool. But actually I was probably telling him about stuff he didn't really need to know. So when he was, I mean, he must have been in reception. He started asking like a few questions about how babies are made. And I thought, right, I don't want any myths. I don't want any mystery. So I found a picture book. And it's all about how this little community of sperm, they live in the testicles, and you can see them. They've got like a little cinema and a cafe. It's all like very sweet little illustrations.
Community of sperm.
Yeah.
I love it.
And one of them happens to win a swimming race, wins the prize, gets to the egg, makes the baby. But obviously even that was confusing for him. So on the way to school, quite loudly, he said, am I going to have a fun fair in my bum for all the sperm when I'm big? I thought, yeah, that's really not landed as I intended.
brilliant.
Oh, so innocent and so
But I just
cute.
thought I was being like helpful.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
And so that was with your first?
Yes.
So with your fifth, you were like, you have sex, there's a baby.
Doesn't last long.
Well, another parenting fail. I think I've skipped some bits of learning for the smaller ones.
Right.
Because you get to the point where you can't, especially when you have your fourth and fifth, they're not necessarily, they sort of skip a few stages because they've got older toys hanging around, they've got older kids in the house. So I feel like there was definitely a phase, and, Jessie and Mickey aren't here to defend themselves, and they would say, no, we're really good at all that now. But I know for a while they were really bad at identifying quite basic farmyard animals.
Okay. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, London kids, we went to a city farm, and like, Mummy, look at that seagull. I'm like, that's a goose.
Did they know the difference between a cow and a pig?
I hope so. I mean, we've probably got to go over some stuff, but it's just you think you've done things, and then I'll be like, oh gosh, I haven't taken you to that museum or this thing because I did it so much with the older ones.
And I've just got visions of you in your head with 2-3 kids sitting down, and you're like, breastfeeding a baby, writing a song, and like just juggling everything constantly.
A lot of that. But
it's like cow,
there must
pig,
be something in it.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. What's the big stuff in life? But also, I think there's something in all of that I've always really loved.
Yeah.
I like that feeling, and I like the fact it probably suits something in my head, because I like the fact that I can go home from work, and even if I've been doing something quite high pressured, none of it matters when I get in through the door, because it's all
totally
about
agree.
what they're up to and
Yeah.
how was your day. And for them, all the stuff that they're going through, and their own, the cultures in their classroom and conversation, that comes in bigger than anything we are dealing with in our working lives. And I really like that switch. And
I
for
totally
me,
agree. If I'm having a bad day, like a really stressful day, and everyone's annoying me, which happens a lot being perimenopausal, when I pick my kids up from school, as soon as I get that hug,
yeah,
I actually feel I can breathe. Like, oh,
definitely,
okay, everything's fine.
Everything else falls away.
Everything falls away.
I'm
And then
with
they grab my bag and ask for a snack, and I go, we're crying out loud.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel so much more at ease and calm when you first see them. And obviously then they drive me mad when I take them home and they don't like the food that I've cooked them. But
Oh yeah.
But it's that
they give
feeling
me
of
that
that
feeling
they
of calm.
want you and
Yeah.
they need you, but
Yeah.
And that's
equally
all that
we need
matters.
them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice to recognise when you're in it with the little people, because that is really special. But also I think that it's really nice the next bit as well. And I suppose, I remember when my youngest had his last day at nursery, and I was like, I know for some people, and that's absolutely, I get it if you do feel a tug, but for me, I've always been so excited about the next bit as well.
Yeah.
And, I suppose I know that with my dad, he found it quite hard when I was growing up. He when I was a teenager, he'd be a bit like, you as a little person I got, and now it was like, and I just really never really wanted. I always want to completely see them for where they're at right now.
Yeah.
So I've never wanted them to. You don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm sorry I grew out of that stage, or I'm sorry I'm not that little person anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to let that.
What's your favourite stage?
I mean, I think 3 objectively is a really fun age.
Yeah.
Because they got like a little bit more common sense, but it's like they're really unpredictable and funny.
Yeah,
And,
they're so cute.
yeah, cute. I always find that a cute stage. But I actually, quite unusually maybe, I really like them when they get sort of teenage and double figures, because I find my teenagers quite adorable. They're like big dogs that still think they're small dogs, and I quite enjoy that sort of like the slightly bumbly, like, oh, they're still very, very sweet, I find.
And because your kids are all, your eldest is in their 20s and your youngest is 6, right?
He's just turned 7 last week.
Like parenting over the years, I guess when Sonny was younger, there weren't screens as much, or was there? Like, is it different now?
I think things always change and evolve though, don't they? And actually one of the biggest shifts I noticed is that, well, firstly, I have 2 different generations, which the kids talk about quite a lot.
Yeah.
So the youngest ones are Gen Alpha and the older ones are whatever one comes before, which I've forgotten about. And so they'll talk to each other about that, which I always find quite funny.
That's fascinating, actually. You've got 2
Gen Z,
generations in your whole...
Yeah, so they'll talk about that. And then the other thing is when Sonny was born, so, you know, obviously going back nearly 22 years, it was all about the naughty step, and it was, you know, the age of sort of super nanny. And now we're much more into... I see you're angry.
Gentle parenting.
Yeah, but it's interesting
Talk about your
how
emotions.
that evolves.
Yeah.
And I was sort of the back end of things like contented baby books, your sort of timed feeding. And it's funny how you don't realise how much you're, as a parent, part of whatever the current vogue is, the culture of parenting as well.
Yeah.
So there's all those sorts of things that I've noticed because of that span. Because, there's nearly 15 years from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So.
And you've kind of seen the evolvement of like school WhatsApp groups.
I mean, I'm on so many WhatsApps, I quite enjoy it when it kicks off because I then can tell people about it. I love
screenshots, send it to your friends.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone does it though, don't
Everyone
they?
does it.
Because it's funny
Yeah.
and ridiculous.
And some things that are in the messages, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've just written that.
Definitely.
Screenshot, send.
Yeah.
Ping, 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 ping.
Heads, like Sam's mummies. And then you see the next day at school, hi.
Yeah, oh God. Awkward.
But also,
everybody does it.
it's a lot of noise, isn't it? And I think, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, I think that because we live in a time when everybody is expected to be on sort of 24-hour call a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you message someone and they haven't got back to you an hour, you're thinking, something terrible might have happened, or why are they ignoring me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I always
But-
think that with my own mother.
Yeah.
She doesn't reply to me. I'm like, are you actually dead?
That's what my mum does to me. She always thinks I'm text.
But you've
My
blue
phone-
ticked it. You've blue
Yeah,
ticked
exactly. I love the blue ticks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So when I'm feeling like, I feel like the WhatsApp level, everything comes in block capital, and I can't differentiate between something important on that and something important in an email because everything's just coming in at the same pitch.
Yeah.
And I
You
find
must be
that's the bit when
so
I know.
organised though, to keep on top of everything.
I think sometimes I've done myself a bit of a disservice by talking about family chaos because there's just always something happening. And I think anyone that's from a big family or living within it now will know what that feels
And
like.
that exhaustion though, for like that fatigue as a parent, if you've got one child that has a bug and you don't sleep much, if you know you've got a gig the
all of
next
that.
night, how do you cope with that?
I am quite good at getting on with not much sleep, which I didn't really mean to experiment on myself in that way.
Yeah.
But
Do you wanna be the
I seem
guinea
have
pig
been
for that
doing
one?
for some time. And I think also that there are definitely times when I feel like, wow, I feel like I walk into a room and a child will see me and think, what can I ask her to do? Just
God,
like immediately,
totally.
like, oh, there's that woman. A snack maybe? Oh, I've left something somewhere. I can't find. How much of parenting is just knowing where stuff is? God, that's,
Constant.
and also, I've unwittingly made myself the queen of that. Like, third shelf down on the left-hand side. You know, you just sort of start.
Standard.
It's standard.
Yeah.
But why? Come on, everybody could do it if they tried.
I know they can, but they don't. They
They
come to
don't,
us. They
'cause they
come
have
to us.
us.
My son's doing this thing now where he'll just say my name and then continue with nothing. He just goes, Mummy. And I'm there going, yeah,
Yeah,
nothing. It's almost like he's trying to think of,
definitely.
can I ask her to
So
do?
where's that snack gone?
Yeah.
Can you put that please?
I love the story of your journey with Richard because you met and then you kind of got together quite quickly and you were, didn't he move in 2 weeks before Sonny was born?
Well, yeah, that's what we didn't know that when he moved in because I was supposed to be pregnant for a little bit longer. But yes.
Fine.
So we'd met and already done a couple of tours together. So we'd known each other about a year and a half by the time we had our first date.
Yeah.
But after 6 weeks, I realised I was pregnant. So then we had to...
So the first date was really good then, was it?
I had to
a
quickly
great
phone all
time.
my friends and be like, you remember Richard, the bass player? Yeah. So we're going out. And then they'd be like, and I go, yeah. And I'm actually having a baby because it was quite a lot going on at once. And then as it turned out, I also got something called preeclampsia, which meant that Sonny was born 2 months early. So
Oh, right.
when Sonny was born, we'd been a couple for 8 months at that time.
And you met his parents
That's
pregnant.
a lot to take on.
Yeah, that was really...
And then did you always know that you wanted a big family?
I think for the beginning bit of having Sonny, it felt completely overwhelming. And no, I wasn't ready to even think about having another for quite a while, actually, which is why there's quite a big gap. It's nearly 5 years between my first two, because I just wasn't really in that frame of mind. It was such a massive life change.
Yeah, and also if your baby's in 2 months early, I'm guessing there was lots of. I'm guessing you stayed in hospital for a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a medicalised early years bit, really. I suppose the first maybe up to 2 years is quite affected.
Yeah.
You have their corrected age. You have a little bit more medical support in terms of checking they're hitting their milestones. He was in hospital for nearly 2 months. And they're quite prone to, because the lungs are like the last things to develop, so they're quite prone to some breathing. So if they get a cough or a cold, it can quite easily go into their lungs, and sometimes you find yourself back in hospital for a night. But it was only all we knew, so I didn't really feel too overwhelmed by that, because I didn't know any different. But I do remember that even amongst all of that, the day I had Sonny, I had this feeling of I could have 12 and never be sated, of this feeling of how
Of
good
that
it feels to have a
bonding
baby.
when you first had, is that?
I just felt really, I don't know how to describe it. I just thought I could never have enough of this feeling. It'll never
that's
be
lovely.
It'll never be too much.
Do you ever feel any pressure to look a certain way? Because I know that Nelly Furtado got absolutely slated recently.
Firstly, I thought Nelly Furtado looked amazing.
She looked amazing. She looked
Incredible.
absolutely
such a
incredible,
talent.
and she
I've
is
got a lot of
so
time for her.
incredible.
I've always really had a soft spot for Nelly Furtado. I suppose, look, babies or no babies, you know, you evolve and you change, and I think it's so important to walk in step with yourself insofar as feeling the best you can for where you're at, and sort of recognizing what's changed and be at peace with that, but also doing the things that make you feel good about where you're at. So I think for me, I've always enjoyed dressing up, and, you know, whether that be just to go and meet a friend for lunch or if it be on stage. And I love the way that clothes and makeup can set the tone for the occasion. But that being said, I'm also not too wrapped up. For me, it's more like a play, fun thing rather than a keeping up as some sort of appearance kind of thing. I like it as a tool for a punctuation. So, you know, when I leave the house and all I'm doing is staying close to home and it's a school day, school run, and I've got a couple of things to run, I can dress really down. I probably won't bother much makeup. If I'm going to work, I love the fact that the punctuation of like, oh, I'm going to do my tick and choose a nice glitter and do the lipstick. That means I'm going to work. So it's more about what it symbolizes rather than something I feel like I need because someone expects it of me. I actually enjoy it like dressing up, I suppose.
Yeah.
Probably goes back to like childhood or something. But no, I'm in quite good terms with my body, because my mum, she never had scales in the house. She was never on a diet. We weren't allowed to even use that word. It was all about healthy eating and feeling capable and strong. And for me, I'm more interested in being able to always like run quickly up the stairs to grab something, walk around the place, jump on the trampoline with my little one, that kind of thing. That is more where my head's at. I want to keep myself in good step for that. I want to keep my stamina for my work. I'm on stage for an hour and a half. I love some very weird dance choices. I don't know why, but I like jumping around and this strange leg
How's your
kicky thing
pelvic
I've
floor?
I was just saying, when you said a
Crikey.
trampoline, me and Louise were like, do you not yourself, Sophie? Do you know what I mean?
I think I've stayed, look, touch wood. I hear it can change at any point, so I don't know. So
I feel like if it was going to change, it would have been after 5 kids. You'd know.
You'd know by now.
I hope so, because I really like my jumping on stage. I'm quite into that.
I love your jumping on stage.
Oh my God,
Please don't stop.
I
It's
don't
amazing.
think it's cool or anything, but it just seems to be where I'm at the moment.
Especially having, 5 kids, do they look at you and think that you're cool? Like, do they understand the magnitude of how everybody knows who you are? Like,
I'll
my
definitely bring it
generation.
up at supper time.
Do you know the woman serving
Guys,
this? I'm a
tonight,
legend.
We're going to talk about me. We're going to go around the table. Who thinks I'm cool? Do you understand what I've
There's a
achieved?
snack relying on this kid, so think about it. But their friends at school must say, like, "Oh my God, your mum's Sophie Ellis-Bextor."
And I mean it hand on heart. If that happens, I don't ask them about it. I think I grew up with my mum in the public eye, and she was really good at making my school life about what was going on with me. And it would be worse than our 6-7 discussion if I start asking them how they feel about me and my work. I hope that as the years go by and they get older, like my eldest, probably about a year and a half ago now, he did a month of travel on his own in Japan. And I was like, that made me feel so good, because there's been so many times when I've gone away for work and I've felt so guilty and so torn, and I'm like, such a taboo, isn't it, for as a mum? Oh, you're going away. You're
who's going to look after the
kids?
kids?
And I thought, actually, it's such a long game, parenting. And if he's seen me and his dad go off for work and come home with the stories, and keeping in touch and knowing what he's up to at school and what's going on at home life, and then I'm back again and we keep moving forward, maybe that's given him the confidence to travel now. And I think, you've got to... I actually was reading an interview the other day with an astronaut. She went to the International Space Station when her little boy was 3, and she was there for 5 months.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, that is huge, isn't it? Nearly half a year of your very small son's life.
Yeah.
And yet, she said, I'd worked my whole life before he was born, working up to that kind of opportunity. How would I feel if he knew when he was older that, firstly, I turned it down, I had the opportunity and I turned it down, and secondly, it was because of him. I thought, what a wonderful way to reframe these things. So it's a long game.
Yeah, that is
actually.
interesting.
And the conversations that can surround it. I mean, my mum was away lots when I was small, but that's not how I'm very close to her, and that's not how I think of things. I don't think, oh yeah, that ballet recital when I was 5, I remember lots of other stuff. And I'm like, she jumped out of planes and did really cool stuff.
She did very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Do you see, because your mum was in the public eye, you're now in the public eye, do you see anything in your children that might make them want to be in the public eye?
Actually, I don't know if they do, actually. And no, I think... The first one, I was very much like, what would he be? And trying to guess all the time. And now I'm just like...
Now you've had 5, you're like, do what you want. Bring yourself up. There's a house key and a phone. Sort yourself out, hun.
I think the big thing for me is like, leave school with an employable skill. Be open to things. Don't complain. Just get out there. Like, have some momentum. You don't have to know the bigger picture, but have an idea where your foot's going to fall next. And that'll see you right. But... I don't know. It's hard. I think they're more freaked out by AI and what jobs will be there for them than anything.
I'm freaked out by AI. Can I ask you a question? I saw an interview you did on Happy Mum, Happy Baby podcast with G. Brilliant podcast. That when you were pregnant with your 5th and you saw someone at the hospital and they openly said, do you want to be sterilised, or you should be sterilised afterwards?
Yeah, they suggested it, yes.
Quite shocking.
Do you know what? I've thought about that as well, because I was reading through some of the comments, because it got quite a lot of interaction, which was actually really really lovely, because it happens in those little consulting rooms, doesn't it? So to have it sort of taken out of that and share it with people. Firstly, a lot of people they were shocked as well. But secondly, there were a lot of people said that they'd had similar conversations, and actually, why shouldn't it be an option? But I think for me, it was all about nuance. I'm so big on this and how things are communicated, because there's so many ways of saying the exact same thing, but one thing will make you feel good and one thing won't.
Yeah.
And so if this person, who I'd never met before as well, by the way, this consultant I had that day was not my usual doctor. So we'd never met before. There was a student in the room, so we had this slightly unusual dynamic of being observed in an exchange. So we're both kind of being slightly on more like alert behaviour, I guess. But I just think if she'd said to me, I appreciate it's a sensitive topic, and by all means go away and have a think about this, but there is actually an option, if you would like, for us to make it so that you will no longer be able to get pregnant after this, if that suits you. But it was more that she was, first of all, freaking me out with, right, let me have a look. 5th child and you're 39. You do realise you're more at risk of everything. The risk of hemorrhage grows up, your risk of organ damage. So I was already thinking,
like that.
Like, this is happening. I'm having this child. So I guess fingers crossed. I don't know.
All the best.
Yeah. And secondly, then she sort of said, and would you like to be sterilised when you're having your C-section? And for me, it was just a bit much.
It's a bit...
I just wasn't ready. I wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't ready for it.
No.
But because of this third party, I felt I had to go, no, thank you. And I don't know, I kind of walked out feeling a bit, was that just for me? My benefit? Was that because of my age? Is that because of how many children I've had? Is that because she thinks I've been irresponsible? I suppose she'd already introduced the idea that she thought it was not a brilliant idea that I was having a baby in the first place because of all these risks I'd subjected myself to. But my usual very nice consultant had never said any of that. He'd been quite thumbs up.
But you're right. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
There was a nice way to say that. I remember getting a scan with my second pregnancy, and that pregnancy unfortunately didn't happen. But the sonographer, whilst you're there and you're heartbroken, she said, sorry, there's no heartbeat. And then she said, you'll probably find it really difficult to fall pregnant again.
What?
For real. And I'm lying there going,
you poor thing.
okay,
Oh my
you've just
God.
killed me twice. But because of that comment, it was then in my head. So then when we started trying for another baby, it was constantly like, this isn't going to happen because that medical profession has told me that I can't get pregnant again.
I once had a miscarriage. This is a while back. And I had a scan. And when I came out of the room, I went to the desk and the lady said, do you want any photos? Are you printing any photos?
Oh my God.
So obviously you had no idea what happened in the room.
Oh my gosh.
And you have these little daggers and you have to go, no, okay, thanks. Just walk out like the little sword is just there, isn't it? This little invisible dagger.
Yes.
Or it's when
Okay,
you
I'll
say-
just
Oh,
have
I'm
that
so
lodged
sorry.
there until
I'm so sorry.
I can tend to that wound
That's
later on in the privacy of
literally
my own home.
made my stomach turn at the thought of you coming out of there. I remember once when I went for a scan, and it was like my husband couldn't come in. And that was like my second miscarriage. And I got to, I think I was 13 or 14 weeks, and I'd had a private scan a few days before. And I'd got it on video and I'd sent it to everybody, like all the family. And they were going, oh my God, this baby's so wriggly. It's bouncing all over the place. Went for the NHS scan. The baby looked as it should, as it did a few days before. And I was like, oh God, it must be like it's just asleep, not moving. And they were just like, oh, sorry, there's no heartbeat. The pregnancy's not going to progress. So sorry about that. So you'll go into another room and then we'll just talk about the next steps.
When I was about to go and have my D&C, the doctor said to me, right, we're going to go now and get rid of the debris.
Oh
And I was
God.
like, don't call my baby debris. It's I can't.
It's hard though, isn't it? And the thing is, the statistics
really
are,
tough.
1 in 4 women go through it, but people don't talk about it. don't cry, Louise, because I feel like I could literally start crying. Oh, God.
Can we talk about something happy, please?
It's murder on the dance floor.
Oh dear.
So your eldest is 22.
He's 21 actually.
21.
Yeah.
So, and how old were you when you had him? You were 20.
Same month I turned 25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
So how would you feel if your son at 24, 25 was like, I'm having a baby?
Oh, I don't know, horrified. I'd be really excited. It'd be so fun. I'd be digging it.
Oh God, can I imagine like Sophie
I'd be so
Ellis-Bextor as a
happy to.
grandmother? Oh my God.
And
I'd be, grandma.
So
I want to
cool.
reserve the grandma. That's my mum was a grandma. My mum's mum was grandma. So I think grandmas would be my. I've already
You'd be
reserved that name.
Such a fucking cool grandma.
Can you imagine?
I don't know.
Like,
I'd definitely be
sequins,
excited about
jumping
it.
on the stage. I'm a grandmother.
Yeah, bring
Bring it.
grandkids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you haven't mentioned is the whole parenting journey, where it can get really tough, really challenging. And me and Louise always slag our husbands off because we're like, he didn't put the bins out, he leaves the toilet seat up and stuff. But not at one point have you said like any sort of shade or negativity towards your partner, because you obviously work as a team, like you work together. Is that kind of how you work
Actually,
with the
I think,
dynamics?
yeah, we do. I mean, it's kind of evolved naturally, I would say, because when we first, obviously, look, we met literally in a rehearsal room. That's the first day we met. He was in my band, so he was auditioning for my band. That's the day we met. And then we got to know each other through touring, through playing on stage together. But actually, when we first started dating, we didn't work together for quite a while. Richard's band, The Feeling, really took off. So he was touring everywhere. And it's really been more like the last sort of 15 years now, probably, where we've worked much more closely together again. But I think it makes all the difference, particularly when I've been so busy, because I don't know how I would feel about going away and doing the work that I do if I wasn't sharing it with Richard.
Yeah.
And the rest of my band. My little brother's on drums, actually, Jackson.
incredible.
Yeah, so it's all
cool.
like quite wholesome
Yeah.
and fun. And I just don't know how I would have approached it or enjoyed it, actually, if it hadn't been for that. But yeah, I mean, we do talk to each other about everything, but probably like you guys have also got girlfriends and my mum, and I speak to there's certain people that I like, my therapy people, basically. I run everything by them.
Yes.
They top me up if I feel like I need, if I'm feeling wobbly, ask any advice. But there's a lot of that goes on. Actually, even my eldest boys I'll chat to about if I've got any dilemmas or work stuff coming up, or
that's lovely.
Yeah, because it's life, isn't it?
I have visions of you and Richard around the dinner table with the kids, like getting a bass guitar out and like just jamming.
Oh God, no.
No, fine.
I'm
In my head you do, and I like it.
Yeah, and I love that visual.
Oh God. I mean, look, there's there's musical instruments, I should say, lying everywhere. Probably also musicians. But so there's, it might be like someone's on the piano or something. But no, I'm not like let's jam.
No.
No, in fact, if there's a jam happening, I'll probably run away. Actually, you know what we do a lot is make up really silly songs all the time. And sometimes I've realised that if my kids are not doing something or it's a bit clunky, I'll sometimes do like a silly rhyme or a silly song. And they will sometimes answer me in songs to kind of get...
Like
That's
what?
cool.
What's an example?
I'd never be like, I know you don't want to put on your coat, but that is what we're going to do. And they'll be like, but I don't want to put on my coat because I am annoyed, or, just something silly.
I like that.
But they quite
That's
like it as a
than...
slightly more bouncy bit of dialogue than just the usual,
get your shoes
come
on.
on. This is something we do
I'm gonna try
every day.
that.
I'm going to try it as well. We'll report back and see.
Yeah, or something
It's time to get in
daft,
the car.
Yeah.
I'm so
Can
relaxed.
you hurry the up?
I mean, I can't help it. I sing in like little jingles all the time. I just can't help it.
Sophie, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
I don't want
amazing.
you to go. I want you to
Can you
sit
stay?
here.
Can you parent my kids for me, please? Because
It's
you're
nice.
way better at it
Well,
than
I
me.
would say when I'm in a calm, quiet room, I'm a much better parenting. I can completely set the tone, can't
I'm
I?
so great at parenting when my kids aren't here.
Oh, yeah.
So good at it.
Isn't it nice to think that between three of us, we have 11 children that we produced?
You should get them on the podcast and they can tell her how it really is.
Yeah, I know, right? My kids are
Christ.
desperate to come on the podcast. And you've got your own podcast too, Spinning Plates. Literally, you are spinning all the plates.
Well, those
Everything.
conversations have really helped me, I have to say.
We always say it's like therapy.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
It really,
it
you always
does.
go away feeling better.
We think that you
Love a
are an
good
actual,
conversation.
you are a superhero, a superwoman. You've got your
Aw,
tour coming
cheers.
up. You've got bits and pieces going on in the UK. You've got a gig or a festival in Guildford Fest or something, and I will be there.
Oh, nice.
So I'll see you there.
Perfect. You're both always welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
And thank you
everything.
for absolutely representing
Yes.
women, working mums, like that is juggling it all and
Yeah.
doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Woo! Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us keep the disco ball spinning. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all the behind the scenes clips. Thanks for listening to No Parental Guidance.